Okay, great. So. Great. Onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
Okay, great. Just put the just to the side. Great. So we just start shoulder to paw. Just nice and loose. Not all the way down. A little bit wider, side to side, rotation. Okay, rolling with the spine. With a wave. Right. Open out the shoulders. And change it. On the elbows. Change it. The wrists. Change your direction. Just pressing the fingertips together. Good. Here, just pressing down close to the body. Release it. One more. Rolling the hips. Changing. into the knees. Taking it down, a little bit of pressure against the legs. Good, coming back, bending the legs back. Circling. Change direction. And just rolling out the ankle, the back. Changing the leg. Okay, going over the sides of the foot. Clasp onto the toes. Sinking back onto the heels. Pressing the big toe down. Raising the big toes, sinking the other toes. Perfect. Perfect. So a little bit of swinging through the body, so shoulder width apart, releasing the arms, raining all the way through to the back. Okay, great. And we'll take it to the side. So bring it to the side. Reach out to the shoulder. And releasing the shoulders, looking in a circle. changing the arm. And shaking the wrist at the top. Then rub them down. Shaking the legs. Great, and take it to the left. Right. Okay, perfect. Take your jump. Great, we'll just cover the 𝗙𝗲𝗿𝗀𝗀. So we'll just look at the first 5 sets of the ski set. So just starting with number 1, Joe at the left side, at the front of the left, in front of the left foot. In, thrusting in, back, nice and calm, so you're neutral, and then engage into the thrust. Back to neutral. Keep going. Right. Perfect. Go to number 2, so take it from the top, thumb down, meaning 𝗙𝗵𝗁𝗀𝗃. So with one movement, in, thrusting in. we'll go to number 3. So 𝗙𝗵𝗽𝗀. Listen to moves. So you adjust the front leg, find this direction, find the forearm, and then rolling back into the ski. So you find the forearm, step back, find the thrust. Adjust the back leg, find the forearm, stepping back. Good. Yeah, with this one, just take it slow when you do this first step. So what you want to do with this foot is fully down, plant it down. So the feeling's kind of sitting into that back leg. And then from here, you're just letting the weight shift into that leg. So you go in this case, if I don't fully ground that leg, I do something like that. And then I'm not really grounded in that front foot. So when you do this, adjust that foot here, really sit into that, press into the back heel in this position. And then let the weight just drive over the leg and press it back that way. So the weight from the movements come in with the thrust that way. So let the back foot adjust, reach into the ground as if you're kind of sitting down into the leg, and then release it to the back that way. And then try. So you have full kind of compression down, release the structure into it. That's it. That's it. Great. We'll take it to the 4. So 𝗙𝗵𝗽𝗀, working from the ski first, thrusting in, drawing the posture close, and then striking in for the knee. Nice and wide the extension. In, back, strike. In, draw back, striking. Just play with this again. just allow yourself as you come through this position, take this nice and slow, but allow yourself as you come through, just to really come into this leg. So you're really balancing all the structure into this front foot. So the weight's shifting in, and I land the weight into that front foot, and then strike in this way. So the weight's being that front leg as you come through, and then you're curving into the attack this way. I have to be careful that I'm not kind of pushing out the foot. It's going to push me out of structure. So that's this, that's this, and then this. We'll come into that. Okay. Let's take that kind of transition nice and slow. Just pass over that leg. Pass it. Good. Perfect. Good. We go to number 5. So we go 𝗙𝗵𝗽𝗀𝗃. So coming up to the top of the head, bringing the hands right up to the top, changing, striking with the right leg. Rest up to the top. Striking. So in a way, this is kind of a beginner way to practice it, but it's actually a good way to connect to the handwork. So just play with this coming up to the top, and then here changing the jaw at the front here. You come into here, and then what you want to think about is the back here, and this right hand slicing down and forward. Okay, so coming here, change the weapon, and then really concentrate on just kind of squeezing that contact out through the back here. This change, and then just practicing this kind of softness in the hands as you kind of transition. So taking a break, or splitting that movement up, I can really just focus on this softness down the weapon. Yeah, that's it.
Feels much better that way.
Yeah. You also give yourself more chance to kind of find the structure. Find the hip, connect the hip to the hand. Right. Yeah, I had to think about this as well. Think that you've got one hip anchoring the body and you've got one hip that's flexible. So when you do this one, look at this, you've got this, as you come into this hand is anchoring it, the left hand and the left foot, and then the right foot and the right hand are really mobile. So that the anchor for the movement is now the left hip or the left foot, left hip and left foot. This, and then the right hip, right hand mobilized. Press through it that way. So that separates out that movement really clearly. That. Good, and then just go back to the version where you do that in the motion. So you come up to the top, you change. Come into here, but still try and keep that kind of anchoring position in the left of the body, the left side, right side mobilize. Great. So this nice kind of logic in the 20 swuri where the last move of the one set takes you into the next move of the next set. So from the last move where you've just done this strike, we now go into the striking series. So these all start now from the right leg forward. You're in kenkamai with the jo, if you are holding the sword. And then the first one is like number 2 with the bokken. So you're stepping back, coming up to the top of the head, and then striking down. It's a nice, simple 𝗄𝗵𝗁 strike. Rolling the hips back, raising up to the top of the head. And then in, striking down. The main thing with this one is this sense of raising from the ground. So this is a very easy one in a sense because the bokken's out, the goes out to the front, kind of raise along and then kind of drop the body back. Feel with this one that what you do is similar to the third suguri when you kind of adjust that foot down. So I adjust the back leg, and then from here think about softening the front of the body, and then I press my way to the back leg, and then the jo's raised from that position. So you're raising from below, so it's adjusting that foot here, sinking into the heel, and then soften the front of the body so that this action kind of raises up. So what you're looking for is that as you sink the weight, the hand's raising up, and I'm raising the bokken, raising the jo with it. So it's this kind of action. This sense, always trying to keep the feeling underneath the weapon. Right. Okay, number 7 is Renzoku Uchikomi, which means a kind of continuous attack now. So it's coming back in the same way, striking in, and then you do a second strike on the left side. back, striking in, and then second. Good. Okay, we'll move on. We go to number 8. So this is 𝗪𝗫𝗁𝗙𝗀 𝗙𝗏𝗁𝗀. So it's a step back again, raising it to the top, striking in, drawing the jaw back, and then striking in again, striking low. Back. Strike on the right side, draw the jaw back, striking on the left. Great, we've got to 9. So 9 and 10 deal with 𝗪𝗍𝗀𝗀. The first one again, same beginning, come back, striking on the right side, and then thrusting to the left side of the body to the back. Okay, so this is 𝗪𝗫𝗁𝗀𝗪𝗫𝗁𝗀. Strike, and then thrust to the rib. Step back, in, back. So. Great. Good, we're going to 10. 10 is similar, but everything's on the other side now. So this is the first one that starts with a different strike, a different beginning. So you go left side, 𝗙𝗵𝗁𝗀, yeah, and then from here, draw into the back for the ski. So this is now a strike on the left, and then 𝗙𝗵𝗃 to the back on the right side. So it starts right side 𝗙𝗵𝗁, left side strike, right side 𝗙𝗵𝗃. Okay, great. So those are the first 10. The first 5 ski movements, resting movement. Second 5 are striking movements. The next series is a one-handed series of movements. So there's 3 of these. The first one starts in 𝗙𝗵𝗁. It's drawing the 𝗙 back to the right side, and then you're striking from this position up to the top and catching the 𝗙 at the top of the body. So this is in Japanese it's 𝗙𝗵𝗃𝗘𝗘 𝗙𝗏𝗄𝗃. So one-handed low rotating stroke. This way. So you draw the 𝗙 back, you sweep up with the weapon. This is a 𝗙𝗵𝗁 strike, and then revolve up at the top, finish at the top of the head. So this is 𝗙𝗵𝗃𝗘 𝗙𝗏𝗄𝗃. Back, in. Okay, great. Yeah. So these have a kind of different quality in a way. Although that they are strikes, they've got this idea of kind of sweeping through the movement. So it's got a different kind of quality in terms of the movement. So one of the tendencies with this one is to kind of hit and then try and swing the 𝗙 around this way. The first few, really do this slow and just think about sweeping the 𝗙 from this position to the top. Okay. So that strike is like a follow through. It's not that I stop the 𝗙 and then I try and get the arm around, because this would be really awkward, especially on the shoulder. But you just go from this position, this, arc up to the top. So if you want, you can also just play with this position. Do this really soft, but it's like this kind of arc up. Okay. So there's no kind of tension going to the wrist. It's just that I've got this then extension, and I just let the hip drag the 𝗙 through that arc. So it's this arc of the body. There's no kind of stop and start with it. It's just one arc through.
That's been bad.
The main problem with these, and even more so than all the normal movements with the 𝗄, is you've got the 𝗄 in one hand and you've got all the weight on one side of the body. So, and especially with this one, the movement's coming up, so it's very easy for the body to get pulled out. So it's very easy for something like this step. The body comes up and then I need to kind of ground the body down. So do this at a speed where you feel like you can constantly anchor the body down. So the body's down in the ground as it travels through. So it's not a feeling that you lose the ground and then have to refine it, but that you basically bring the ground with you in the movement. That. So just take this really slow. The other way you can do this, which makes this a little bit easier, is you can do this basically on the spot, where I keep that foot grounded and I just kind of roll the body through it that way. That. The main thing is feeling that you're anchoring the body down. So there shouldn't be any kind of any floating at the end of the movement. So, slowly as you go through. Yeah, and the other thing with this is you want to feel like it's going to connect with the side of the person's head. So as it comes in, it's going to go up, 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 and then strike here. So if that was my partner, I'm basically striking up this way, and that way follows through this way. What you don't want to do is the 𝗄 to be quite low, and it does something like that, which basically shears off the person's foot. You want to basically hit the person this way, rather than it kind of going up over the top of the head. So the angle with this is basically the same angle you make with the 𝗙𝗵𝗽𝗁 strike this way. That same target, but it's being made from below. So it's this kind of target here and coming through this way. So if you want, you can also play with this one. You can keep that hand in the same area of the 𝗄 and basically stop it. Yeah, ooh, that's better. Stop it here. That kind of feeling. So I want to feel that the body's anchored in, but that there's weight behind that strike. So it's like a low movement here, that driving up, rather than this kind of movement. So it's less of an uppercut, more of a like a low aim. Kind of thing. That's it. Perfect. There we go. Good, we'll take this to 12. So sometimes you'll see this done from this position. This is where we do it in the 𝗙𝗵𝗁. When we do this one in the 𝗙𝗵𝗁, we come from that position. For this one, just started in 𝗙𝗵𝗁𝗀. Okay, so you go and bring the 𝗄 to the back, and as you do it, give yourself a little bit of space at the end of the 𝗄, so you're not right at the end of the weapon. A little bit, it comes to the back of the head. And then from here, this is kind of the opposite of the last one. You're going from a high position, striking 𝗙𝗵𝗁𝗀, and then coming back down. Okay? So you go back, give yourself a little bit of space, bring the 𝗄 to the back, stepping through, striking, drawing down. So I can get that there. 𝗙𝗵𝗁𝗀. This means like a one-handed long distance strike or great distance strike. So using the length of the weapon. Again, this is a 𝗙𝗵𝗁𝗀 strike with a follow through. Right, that's it. Good. So the way this is a little bit easier than the last one in terms of grounding the movement, but what you'll probably notice is this starts to happen with the body. starts to spin out with the 𝗀. So if I go like this, the body will kind of spin out with it this way. So what you're looking for is to ground that spiral down. Let the arms loose, but basically I keep the body forward this way. So look to basically stabilize the body. Yeah, and don't let it kind of over rotate at this point. So through the front, there. Just let the 𝗀 kind of finish at the bottom, but I need the body to be stable, especially the torso. The torso needs to become stabilized at the as the weapon's kind of swinging back. Right. That's the main thing to watch with this one especially is this flick of the wrist. So especially when you do this at speed later, and if you do a lot of repetitions with this, just be careful of doing something like this as you go into it, flicking the wrist here. So doing something like this with the wrist. As you do this, the arm's like maximum extension, and you've got a lot of weight in it, the maximum momentum as well with the joint. If I start to do that with the wrist's in a bit of a weak position. So think of this strike in the same way that you do a strike that way. So the wrist just stable as it goes through that arc. The same here, the wrist stable as it passes through that arc. And then back to the side this way. But just watch for something like that happening. Right, basically flick the wrist at that point, and I've destabilized the wrist. I'll make it weak at that point. So keep it very relaxed but stable within the joint. Great. The next one's a one-handed figure of 8 movement. So you start with this one, left foot forward. The 𝗀 just lines up with the back foot, with the back right foot, and you just take the 𝗀 like a couple of fist width down. So you don't want to be too high up on it. You don't want to be too low on it. Just about here, so a couple of fist width at the top. Just comes by the right leg. There's a few footwork patterns with this. We'll do the kind of simple one. You're going to bring the back leg in, step in this way. So you strike up here. And then you're going to rotate the 𝗀 over, bring the feet together, left foot comes to the right, and then here, press the 𝗀 up to the top, and just finish at the side here this way. Okay, so the footwork in this one is stepping in with the right, bringing the feet together, and then bringing the right leg back. So this is 𝗙𝗵𝗃𝗃 no 𝗔𝗐𝗙𝗃, which is a one-handed figure of 8 rotation. 1, 2, 3. That's the top. Yeah, just watch these 2 points. So if I'm too short with the weapon at the top, one thing is the 𝗀 is very heavy. So I get there, the 𝗀 is very heavy, and then when I get to the end, I've got nothing to grab onto. So I've got a really little part to grab onto, and the 𝗀 is really unstable at the end. If I'm too low in it, so if I'm more towards the middle, The danger with this is as I go through these motions, that the end of the stick clips the head as it goes through. So there's a danger as I do this, that the 𝗄's going to flick and hit the head at that point. So you just want the right amount where you can reach full extension, where the 𝗄 doesn't feel too heavy, but where I'm not risking the end of the weapon basically hitting on the way back. So you've got 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. So. Nice. And the same thing with this. This is you can use this as a block, but think of this really as a strike. So it's like 2 𝗙𝗵𝗁 strikes forming an X in front of the body. So you've got one that goes high, low this way, and then as you reverse over again, this one goes high to low this way. So you're basically drawing across that. But again, the strikes of 𝗙𝗵𝗁 to the side of the head. That's into the side of the head, and not just turning the stick on that kind of angle. So you want to strike,
1,
strike,
2,
strike through, strike through.
so, strike.
Great. Now, as you do it, just picture that target in front of you and try and make this one movement now. So the key thing is now, in the basic way we're going to do this, we're going to stop, change, stop, change it to the top. And just think that now you flow through it. So you can still break this down into movements, but think that the strike goes through. There. So you can break this down like into 2 routes. 1, 2, the top. But think that those strikes are now basically connecting and passing through, connecting, passing through. 1, 2. You want to drive it with the whole body. Whoosh. 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 Last few here, which kind of deals with a different topic, but it's just this is a really nice route to practice it with, is this kind of flexible, supple body. So the key with this one, it's more of a nagari movement, more of a key nagari movement, but what you want to think about now is the idea of the body kind of dragging the weapon through. So what you're going to do now is like this kind of movement, this, and then as you go, you release it, this way. But you've got now this kind of really flexible connection from the core. It's not that the core's soft, but that the periphery is kind of softening. So this. But I still have that weight down. So the key from the base is this heaviness in the lower body. But now allow the weapons to kind of flow much more fluidly around the body. So you're dragging the weapon through, dragging through. Just really slow. It's just that sensation where the body's dragging the weapon. Good, and we don't have time, but this last Suburi, or this Suburi in the set, this leads into the next series. So this one way, which deals with a figure of eight movement, this, leads nicely into the Hasso set, which deals with the figure of eight motion coming to the top this way. So this last move leads now into the Hasso series. Okay, we'll do those another time. But that's all we've got time for today. So those are the first 13 Suburi. So 3 sets. First 1 to 5 ski. Second set 6 to 10 striking moves, and 11 to 13 one-handed katate strikes. Okay, that's it. Okay, very good. 𝗙𝗵𝗁. Very good. Great. Domo arigato gozaimasu.
Domo, arigato gozaimasu.
Right, there we go.
Okay. Great, Michael. Thank you.
Yes.